Nintendo has a wide variety of notable characters, but I wouldn't have known that growing up. I grew up playing Super Mario Kart and Super Mario World. If you were to ask me what my favourite characters were, I would have said Toad and Mario. Both are great, but when looking at the roster of Mario Kart, I wasn't exactly spoiled for choice really. Super Smash Bros. For 3DS hit at an important time for me. I'd just gotten a 3DS and I was looking for a game to supplement this nostalgia trip. I was awestruck by the size of the roster, 58 once the paint dried, a whopping 74 when looking at the base release of Ultimate. Needless to say, a lot of these characters were new to me. Fox McCloud, Lucina, Captain Falcon and Samus. I found them fun to play, but knew nothing of them as characters. Slowly but surely, over time I would be compelled to find out more about them. I'd find that these characters have noteworthy titles and important franchises of their own. One character, however, would stand out. She was perhaps more significant than many of the others. I mean, she did help spawn a genre. Metroidvania, possibly the most important portmanteau since brunch, is a combination of Metroid and Castlevania. Specifically, Super Metroid and Castlevania Symphony of the Night. These two titles combined are said to be the lifeblood that spawned the genre. It would be impossible not to mention that countless indie darlings draw inspiration and proudly label themselves as Metroidvanias. Hollow Knight, Ori and the Blind Forest and Cave Story are just a few examples. All of these games owe some credit to Super Metroid, and I haven't played and completed a single one. I think it's high time I remedy that. The game's introduction was concise and instantly unpacked the previous titles and their plots. The Metroid embryo, previously saved by Samus, has now been kidnapped by Ridley and taken to the planet Zebes. You are tasked to recover the stolen Metroid. This is where your adventure begins. Right off the bat, the game's tone and atmosphere are on point. The first hallway is empty, but it looks broken and dishevelled. I learned after playing that this was the final area in the original Metroid. After obtaining the Morph Ball, two flanking faces turn and light up. At the same time, you are scanned from above. Okay, now they know I'm here. And sure enough, upon re-entry to the previously empty hallway, enemies are abundant and the music starts up. I made pretty light work of them and enjoyed exploring the starting areas for a way forward. After finding the missiles, I was lured into a false sense of security. Ooh, bombs. Hang on. Oh crap. The boss fight was hard and took me a fair few goes to finally overcome. And I learnt something valuable. I can't trust anything. This added to the excitement moving forward. Exploration is paramount, and I had such a great time exploring high and low for the path forward. It's pretty standard affair when entering a new area to quickly find a map room. This gives you a general path forward, but not everything is exposed. Secret areas are plentiful and you begin to look for them in every screen, searching high and low for upgrades. What I loved most while playing was that all of these upgrades are useful. From upgrading your weapon to a recharge tank, even learning a previously unknown technique, every upgrade is permanent and aids you well in the future. Now I'll admit, one major facet of Metroidvanias that threw me off initially was the prospect of backtracking. It's one of the main reasons I put off playing them for so long. The idea of going back and forth to progress sounded tedious on paper. In practice it was anything but. Progressing through difficult areas and then returning with power-ups, blazing through. It shows how far I'd come. A poignant moment was when you loop around and come back to the starting area after you get the ice beam, high jump, and power bombs. You arrive back at your ship, but a sense of triumph replaces the initial dread. The spooky starting tones are replaced with a gleeful, heroic tune. I love this switch. I felt the game shift in this moment. I was no longer on a foreign planet. I was on a playground. The boss fights for me were varied and well paced throughout the game. With their scarcity, it felt rewarding stumbling upon them. I noticed a change as I progressed throughout the game. Early encounters were overwhelming, while the latter bosses I relished as obstacles to overcome. The sheer size of Kraid was amazing. He was fun to beat and really set the bar high for future bosses I'd encounter. Crocomire was satisfying once I figured out what his mechanic was, and his death was pretty epic. Phantoon and Bottoon were a bit lackluster, just aiming and shooting when they gave me an opening. They were not nearly as creative as previous bosses. I had a big brain moment when fighting Dragon. I'd previously learned that the grappling beam hurts you when you fire it at sparks. So when he picked me up, I thought I'd give it a try. I was stumped when this actually worked, and pretty chuffed to see this outside the box thinking pay off. Round 2 with Ridley was epic. The more times I tried, and believe me, I tried a lot, the better I got. His quick attacks forced me to be agile with the controls, until finally I defeated him. I was let down once I moved into the next room. Every other boss had rewarded me with something, but not Ridley. Well, not intentionally anyway. I knew exactly where to go next. The trophy room discovered early in the game. Mother Brain was waiting, and again I was tested. The Metroid letting me live was a striking moment, and her sacrifice solidified her allegiance. I wanted to avenge her. Transferring Mother Brain's rainbow beam to me, the Metroid gave me everything I needed to quickly finish her off. It was such a fitting send-off. Way to kill the Metroid. Now the egg's on your face. No rest for the wicked though, as a self-destruct sequence is initiated. You are charged to escape the planet before the timer runs out. Now before you ask, I didn't even know about the animals. I'll get them next time. As you leave Zebus, a message pops up saying that the operation was a success. Was it? I mean, maybe. It was a success because Mother Brain wasn't fruitful in harnessing the Metroid's power. It is a little bittersweet though because the planet's blown up with all life form on board and the Metroid's dead anyway. But yeah, it was a success. Super Metroid gets a lot of praise from the community, and now I can see why. It's a masterclass in gameplay and atmosphere. It was such a fun experience. I finally played Super Metroid, and now I'm obsessed. I cannot wait to try other games in the franchise. Samus is now a beloved character, and Super Metroid is one of the best games I've ever played. But moreover, it's opened up a whole genre to me, and I look forward to playing other Metroidvanias. Hell, maybe the other half of the name is a good place to start. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, let me know. And if you're new here, please consider subscribing. It really helps out the channel. Till next time when I finally play something else.